Hello, I've been gardening for over 30 years, and I have a Master Gardener's certification from Purdue University Extension Office. I want to share with you 6 basics of gardening. One is about soil, and it's very unglamorous, but it's essential. So here we go. The first one is a garden is never complete. It's never finished. It's never done. You can be happy with it, but it's changing. As time goes by, your garden will get self-seeders, or what we call volunteers. You'll decide you want to move a hydrangea bush from to the left side of your house to the right side of your house, or you'll fall in love with grasses or roses or foxgloves and you'll want them everywhere. Or the 2 lily of the valley plants that you planted when you first started now have run wild and are everywhere and you want them gone. Your taste in plants will change over the years. Like I said, one year you may be all in on annuals, zinnias, marigolds, and then you'll say, no, I just want tall, decorative grasses in my yard. So a garden is never complete. Number 2, you will make mistakes. That's just it. You'll make mistakes. Live with it. Gardening is trial and error. When I first started gardening, I loved lemon balm. And so I planted it in the ground. I didn't know it was part of the mint family, and soon it was everywhere because it spreads through underground runners. It took me 3 years to dig that stuff up and eradicate it from my ground, and then I learned that certain plants are better in pots and containers. And as Albert Einstein once said, anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. So we as gardeners are always wanting to try things new. Now, number 3 is about soil. Know what plants are suited for your garden soil. If you don't want to buy a garden soil test kit from one of the big box stores, you've got an easy option. Walk around your neighborhood. See what's blooming in your neighbor's yards or a couple streets over. And if they're out and about, say, hey, what is that plant? That's beautiful. She might say, oh, that's an astilbe. So you can write it down, and chances are if astilbes grow in her yard, they might grow in your yard too. So adequate soil is essential. Now, if you're gardening on porches, on balconies, in containers, you can just buy some good quality potting soil, and that will do. That's a good thing. But garden soil is essential, and you can, of course, amend that with compost and do other things that enhance your soil. Now, before we get to the final 3, if you don't know me, I'm Margaret, and I garden in Indiana in Zone 6AB. I'm right on the cusp. It's a good thing to know your gardening zone, and it's easy to find out. Go on the internet, just type in what's my gardening zone in, and then put your state, your city and state. What gardening zone do I live in San Bernardino, California, or Portland, Oregon, or Taos, New Mexico? It'll tell you, and you'll know. That gives you good knowledge on stuff. And number 4, Get to know the sun's light in your garden. Now, this might take a couple of days, but from 6 a.m. to 10, go out and see where the sun hits your yard. There will be certain areas that the sun will shine on, and maybe part of your garden is being blocked by a neighbor's house or fence or a garage, or if you have big trees in your yard, you'll get a lot of shade. You'll need to walk through your garden at different times during the day. There is a saying from Beth Chatto, a British gardener. She says, right place, right plant, which means in order to make a plant happy and thrive, it's got to be planted correctly. You're not going to want to put a plant that loves sun underneath an elm tree or an oak tree. It won't be happy, it won't thrive. Read the seed packets and the plant tags. They have an abundance of good information. Seed packets show if that particular flower or plant needs light, how much light it needs, how much water it needs, how tall it will be, how wide it will spread. So make sure and read plant markers or plant tags and seed packets. 5. Perennials, biennials, and annuals. Do those terms confuse you? They shouldn't. They're pretty straightforward. Perennials are plants that live 3 to 5 to 7 years. A lot of people think and are under the misconception that if you plant a perennial, it will go on forever. No, plants have life cycles just like humans, but perennials will go at least a good 3 to 5 years. And here's a saying that I was taught. The first year they sleep, the second year they creep, and the third year they leap, which means the first year they sleep, they're getting settled into the ground. The second year they creep, their roots, their feeder roots are going out and finding nutrition. But by the third year, they will be in their element and they'll leap. Flowers and the plant will get bushier. So that's perennials. Biennials are plants that set seed and grow leaves the first year, and the second year they flower. Examples of this: foxglove, sweet William, and parsley. Now, biennials can self-seed, so it might trick people to think that they're annuals or they're perennials, but they're a good thing to add to your garden. Now, annuals are the things that we're most familiar with. They're the packets of seeds that we buy, the zinnias, the marigolds, the calendulas, the basils, other herbs. And that means they complete their entire life cycle in one growing season. They germinate, they sprout, they grow leaves, they flower, they set seed, and they die. 6. Gardening basic number 6 is read articles, research, and read books by gardeners, horticulturalists, landscapers, experts. Watch videos, learn from them, and learn from their mistakes. Here are some experts and whose books I have enjoyed. Now, a lot of them are British, and a lot are women. I think women make the best gardeners. So I want to read them so I won't forget any. Vita Sackville West, Beth Chatto. She's no longer with us, but like I said previously, she was famous for Right Plant, Right Place. Carol Klein, she's on Gardener's World and she's very good. Gertrude Jekyll, Marjorie Fish are just a few. And in the US, on PBS, there used to be a gardening show called Paul James, the Gardener Guy. And he was out of Oklahoma, I believe, and he had excellent tips. He still has videos on YouTube, so you can check him out there. And also a man named Joe Lample. He had a show called Growing a Greener World on PBS. He has a video or a YouTube channel chock full of knowledge. And here's one you might know, Frederick Law Olmsted. He lived back in the day and he created and designed New York City's Central Park, a beautiful area. So read all you can about gardeners and by gardeners, because even writers that are not specifically gardeners but deal with the natural world. One of my favorites is a writer named Margaret Rankle, and she writes opinion pieces for the New York Times, and she's written several very good books. She's a good resource. Now, all that said, I want to tell you one other thing. Don't be afraid to go against conventional wisdom. It's not always cut and dried. If you want to try something in your garden that's not supposed to grow, like you want lavender, but you've got hard clay soil, and lavender likes a sandy, well-draining soil. Well, you can amend that soil. You can try lavender. Try anything. It might surprise you. A lot of gardens have what we call microclimates, which a part of their garden might be protected from the harsher elements. So try things. Breathe fresh air, get exercise, get creative, grow beautiful things, help Mother Nature, help her pollinators, and have fun. And thank you for watching this video. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Leave comments. I would love to know your favorite plants or flowers, or if you have a tip for beginning gardeners. Until next time, thank you for watching. Bye. Ta-ta.